Next, we have Aryam, and she's going to be presenting on Do We Manage Time? Aryam, the floor is yours.
Most of the things that we know about time management is false. How many of you sleep at least 6 hours last night? Past week. According to the definition of Oxford Dictionary, time management is defined as the ability to use one's time efficiently. But today, I'll show you how this definition is irrational or illogical. We often hear the term time management from public speakers, motivational speakers, personal development advisors. But I asked myself, what does it mean? Time is constant to each and every single one of us. We all have 24 hours. We cannot stop it. We cannot speed it up. But we can do whatever we want on ourselves. Let me tell you a story. During COVID, when everything was locked down, school was locked, the only thing that I was supposed to do was staying at home and be safe. And I realized that I wasn't able to do what I want to do. And I did a 3-week experiment on myself. The experiment was tracking my time with every pieces and bits of activities that I was doing. Which means when I go to bed, I write down the time. So I did when I wake up in the morning. When I go to eat, when I talk with my siblings, when I use social media, when I read, basically everything. For consecutive 6 days. At the end of that 6 days, I was shocked. I didn't know that I was sleeping 64 hours in 6 days, 3 hours in the restroom, 10 hours of reading, and so on. For the following week, I decided to completely stop the experiment and to develop myself, work on myself for the next week. I worked on myself to have a habit, to have a routine, to be able to manage myself, like physical exercise, reading, practicing my musical instrument, and my painting, so on, for 6 days. In the third week, I did exactly the same research again, but the result was significantly different. My 64 hours of sleep turns to be 42 hours, which saved me 22 hours that can go to my reading and some useful activities. My 10 hours of reading turns to be 34 hours, which means I added 24 more hours to read. At the end of my experiment, I realized that time management is not only about the time that we have. It's all about the priority and self-management. There is no such a thing called time management, but self-management. And prioritizing is focusing on the thing that matters the most. So what I did was, in general, on my experiment, I asked myself, am I doing what I want to do or not? Am I managing myself or not? Ask yourself, are you doing what you want to do or not? Are you managing yourself to do what you want to do or not? And on the second week, I improved myself to be able to manage myself. And on the third week, I measured how I improved, and it works out. So time flies, but we're not able to stop it, to pause it, to speed it up, to stop it, to speed it up. We are not able to stop it. We don't have the capacity or the power over time, but we can do whatever we want on ourselves. So in conclusion, whenever you hear about time or think about time, don't just take it literally as a time. But instead, you can just think about self-management, discipline, prioritizing, so on. So today, your takeaway will be to be able to manage yourself, ask yourself, be aware of yourself. Secondly, try to change, work on yourself, manage on yourself. And finally, maintain on what you changed. Thank you.